United States of America! Okay, of course you knew that. But did you know that states are bound together by the U.S. Constitution? That includes territories, Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. Each state and territory in America is as diverse as the people who live in it. Every state has its own governor, capital, flag, laws, landmarks, beautiful places to see, and constitution. Yes, each state has its own power called states' rights. In America, we, the people, are protected by a state and a federal constitution. That sounds kind of confusing. Let me explain. Federalism is the balance of power between the states and the federal government. The 10th Amendment says any powers not delegated to the federal government belong to the states and the people. States' rights? That means state governments can control things like driver's licenses, marriages, buying and selling real estate, education, state highways, and follow the money, collecting state taxes. Basically, states make laws to control what happens within their borders. But states must respect the laws of other states and the federal government. Our federal government controls national things like the military, printing money, immigration, protecting the entire country. The federal government makes laws that states have to follow, but a state's power must stay inside the state. So, what happens when a state and the federal government don't see eye to eye? Ooh, like back when states chose to force children of color and white children to go to separate schools? Then the federal government said no. That became the famous case of Brown versus Topeka Board of Education of Kansas. In a conflict between a state constitution and the U.S. Constitution, or between a state law and a federal law, well, take a look at the U.S. Constitution right here. In Article 6, it's called the Supremacy Clause. The U.S. Constitution, U.S. laws, and treaties shall be the supreme law of the land. That means the federal government wins. It wasn't always like this. There was a time before the U.S. Constitution that states were stronger and powerful. The federal government was weak and poor. This was under the Articles of Confederation. Each state had its own military, postage stamp, treaties, money. Basically, each state acted like a little country. It was a mess. The federal government didn't have enough money or military power to stop an insurrection by Daniel Shea in Massachusetts or to protect America from a possible invasion by another country. So, in 1787, there was a meeting in Philadelphia to fix the problem. It was decided at that now famous Philadelphia Convention to create the United States Constitution. After that, the federal government took the lead and states must follow. Today, the states do so much to serve the daily needs of the people that the federal government tries to stay out of their way. Every now and then, there is a battle in court. But in the end, they all must work together because local, state, and federal governments are here to serve the people. Let's review. States have rights. Each state has its own constitution. States were given rights under the 10th Amendment. State governments do a lot of work for their residents and control what happens within their borders. Federalism is the balance of power between the states and the federal government. But the Supremacy Clause makes the U.S. Constitution and federal law the supreme law of the land. That's all for now. See you next time. Remember, the government, whether state or federal, is here to serve the people. This is your democracy. Keep it strong.